Bro, we didn't. I was just say we didn't go live, dude.
No, we are live now. Welcome into the best bets for Saturday, February 13th, 2021. I guess Periscope podcast, YouTube thing, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to give our best bets for tomorrow. A lot of college basketball coming in, a little NBA and a little NHL. But why don't we get started? And Martin, let's start on your first pick.
All right, fellas. I've got Stony Brook at Vermont Catamounts over 129.5 on 1 p.m. on
Stony
Saturday.
Brook, bro. Let's go.
Gotta love that
That's
name.
a school that's a school I haven't heard of, I don't think.
So I actually was looking at this because Vermont is like Jake Marsh's team, and
yeah.
So they were just coming back from COVID. They're like a huge favorite. But anyways, I haven't played since the 17th because of COVID. But at this point, who hasn't? Before the hiatus, Vermont was just showing us they're one of the top dogs in the American East. So I really expect them to go guns blazing their first game back. And the American East is one of those conferences that are doing like back-to-back series where they play the same team back-to-back. And usually the first game is higher scoring than the second game. And honestly, if I'm wrong this game, I don't care. Like if the under hits on Saturday, I'm taking the over on Sunday because it's pretty much like a 50% chance that like it flips, if it makes sense. Like if the under hits on Saturday, the over is hitting on Sunday. So it's a nice little trend for these college series I'm hitting. So on Saturday, I'm taking the over.
All right. Sounds good. Andrew, what's your first pick?
I don't hate it. I'm going to take the Suns money line minus 105 at 2 o'clock tomorrow as well. And so the Suns just had a great comeback. They were down double digits at halftime against the Bucks, and then they ended up beating them by 1. And the Bucks are a good team, but I do think the 76ers are a little better. But the 76ers just had a tough loss against an okay Trailblazers team. I mean, Melo did just go off. Like, that was the only reason why they did lose. Like, Melo just destroyed them at the end of the fourth quarter. Like, that stretch was just nuts. I think it was like 13 points in like 3 minutes or something. And so the Suns are hot right now. I think I roll with them at home. I think the 76ers are just going to lay flat tomorrow like they did with their starters, just because I think they're just getting a little kind of back in the kink of things, I guess. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Suns tomorrow.
All right. With my first pick, I'm going to go with the number 10 team in the NCAA. It's going to be Missouri at home minus 2.5 versus Arkansas at 3 p.m. on ESPN2. Now, Missouri is coming off a really bad loss at Ole Miss, 80-59. And so I think people are kind of falling off the Mizzou train, so to speak. I mean, they are technically the number 10 team in the country right now. But they're 8-1 so far at home this year, and that only loss is the first SEC game of the year versus Tennessee. So it's not like they've even had a bad loss at home or anything like that. Home has been a really good, comfortable place for them. Arkansas is 3-4 on the road. So I like this as a good bounce back game for Missouri. And I know Arkansas has won 4 out of their last 5, but I think that's what makes this, this game a 2.5 point spread instead of being at like 5 or 6. So I'm going to go with Missouri minus 2.5 at home versus Arkansas tomorrow.
I love the play, honestly, but yeah, I was wondering why the spread was like pretty close. Honestly, it didn't really make too much sense to me, but you explained it pretty well.
All right, Martin, your second pick.
All right, so I don't know why, but for college basketball, I've been playing mid conference teams or whatever they're called. I'm taking the South Dakota Coyotes minus 6.5 versus the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. To put it simple, Coyotes eat Hawks for breakfast. South Dakota's been hot like all of January. They didn't lose at all, and they lost recently versus their the rivals in North Dakota. And so North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, are coming off the rough stretch of their schedule where they're pretty much just struggling versus teams at the bottom of the standings like Denver and Western Illinois. So, yeah, I just like South Dakota to keep it rolling, keep their hot streak alive, minus 6.5 tomorrow.
I wish I could give you some feedback, but I know zero about either team.
I just know there's a bunch of Dakota basketball teams.
I know, and I know usually a couple of them are pretty good.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
confusing.
exactly.
randomly, or like Northern Iowa, that little like circle of randomness in the country that no one really knows anything about, just plays good basketball.
Yeah, that's the only thing to do over there in Dakota, to be honest.
North Dakota State Asheville is pretty good.
Bro, they're a sleeper for the March Madness tournament.
You'll hear something like that in like a month from one of you guys. All right, Andrew, what's your second pick?
Dude, Luke, I wanted to call you. I'm sorry I'm reacting like this. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm overreacting, but I literally was pacing back and forth when I was doing my research for these picks when I saw the Tennessee's line. Like, why are they only -2.5? Like, I'm personally asking you.
Because
They've been inconsistent in the past, but they finally showed consistent basketball recently, and they're covering again.
so Tennessee doesn't play well against LSU, or at least they haven't recently in the past
LSU
couple of years.
That's exactly what I
Ellis-
said Luke was gonna say. I was
Ellis,
like, sorry, go
look,
on.
LSU has very athletic big men. Tennessee does not play well against very athletic big men. You could take that Alabama's Jones guy, the guy who can play pretty much point guard. He's like 6'9". He ate up Fulkerson's lunch. Fulkerson does not do well with very athletic big men, and LSU's got a couple of them. Very athletic point guards kind of give just Santiago Vescovi some fits because he's a little bit slower and not as agile. So it's just they sometimes have struggles with teams that are super athletic. So that would be my guess as to why.
Yeah, take the fucking juice. Why the fuck is this only -2.5? I don't give a fuck if LSU's at home. I don't care if
Tennessee's a
they've
little
had
bit
an
of a roller
okay
coaster.
win last week. Exactly. Tennessee's been a roller coaster recently, but I don't care about their inconsistencies. I think they're going to start playing consistent basketball up
And
until the tournament.
Hold up a second. I agree that I think that they're going to start playing more consistently good offensive basketball. We know they're going to be fine on the defensive end. They're
That's
one
what
of the
I'm
best
saying.
defensive teams in the country. But on the offensive end, we've seen in the last two games, both five-star freshmen Keon Johnson and Jaden Springer go off offensively. Against Kentucky, Keon Johnson had 27, Jaden Springer had over 20. Against Georgia on Wednesday, Jaden Springer
Keon
had 30,
Johnson had one of the
and Keon
nastiest
Johnson
dunks
had
I've seen in a long time.
yeah, they are now getting really comfortable within the offense. Tennessee has scored like 150, almost 160 points in the last two games, and it's like 10 points have come from Fulkerson and Pons, which really shows you how much the freshmen have been doing. They've literally scored almost 60 both combined, both last two games. So I really think they're putting it together, and if that's the case, Tennessee's going to go like this.
That's what I'm saying. So I really think if you guys do have the same faith I do, take them -3.5 instead of 2.5 and take those plus odds at +100. I think LSU is not. I don't think LSU is good at all. They barely beat A&M. They are losing. They lost to Kentucky. Like they're not a good ball club. They're not.
No, I understand that. I like the pick. I honestly do. I would be more uncomfortable with it if Keon Johnson and Jaden Springer hadn't been playing the way that they have been the past 2 weeks or 2 games.
I love the confidence they're playing with right now.
Plus, whenever Andrew gives an alternate line, you got to take it because he's pretty much alternate Andrew at this point. He took Bucks -3.5 in the Super Bowl, and he took the Bills -3.5, even though both of them were underdogs. So that gives me confidence in this team.
He might have taken a Bills or a Buccaneers alternate spread against the Packers too.
Maybe, yeah.
All right,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't accept that compliment. I 100% was wrong that entire weekend. I took the Packers. That was terrible. I'm a fucking idiot.
All right, maybe I was wrong. All right, my second pick is the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation -115 at San Jose Saturday at 3. It's a little bit of a matinee game for a West Coast game. Not usually the case, especially for those Pacific Coast teams. Vegas hasn't lost back-to-back all year long, and they're coming off a loss previous game, and I don't believe that starts now. Vegas likes to score a lot of goals, and San Jose likes to give up a lot of goals. San Jose has given up the most goals in the Pacific Division, and Vegas has one of the best points per game averages in the Pacific Division. Vegas does a really good job executing against teams with bad goalies and bad defenses, and that's what the San Jose Sharks have. They're really built, to score goals, but when they don't score goals because they don't do it consistently enough, they really get blown out. So their goalie play has been so far. They've gotten better with Devin Dubnyk this year. He's played pretty, all right. to start the year. But even if I don't really trust him against a potent Vegas team that can go for 5 any night they play. I like them coming off a bounce back game as well, kind of my theme for the weekend, bounce back teams. So I'm gonna go with Vegas in regulation -115. And another thing about San Jose is they really don't do good against teams with really like high potent offenses. So far, 1-3 against the best 2 teams in the division. They haven't played Vegas yet this year. I think they go 1-4 at least to start the year. Which
I wish
know
I knew
you.
more about hockey, honestly.
Yeah, I know you guys can't really comment.
I've been
on
focusing.
that.
I'll show you the same messages I've been sending like Martin and Matt, but like I've only been focusing on every single type of basketball period.
That's fine.
Just around the entire world. I wish I could focus more on like hockey and other sports right now. It sucks.
But
if anyone is hold on, I'm starting to interrupt Luke. If anyone is watching right now, live bet the Grizzlies -110 against the Lakers right now. They are winning 20-2.
That's what happens when there's so many overtime.
The Lakers have 2 points.
They're
losing 20-2 right now. There's 0 chance they win this game.
All right, Andrew, you got one last pick. Correct.
My last pick is going to be Iowa -5.5. And I know they've hoed us big time. They've hoed us big time recently. But they finally covered last week after a 4-game losing streak at the spread against a great game at Rutgers. Oh, no, they were home. I'm sorry. They were home. They were home against Rutgers. I'm not going to give that false narrative. But I think they continue that, and they win respectively by 6 points or more. And they beat an average Michigan State team pretty good. I think it's going to be an okay game because Iowa's offense is not as flashy as it should be. Like Martin can agree, like Luka Garza is not playing as flashy as he did at the beginning of the season. Like we're not seeing like
having his struggles too.
Yeah, Bohannon's having his struggles. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that same offense like they had at the beginning of the season when they played like Iowa State or something.
Yeah, beginning of the year they were dropping. It seemed like they could get 90 every game.
Yeah, exactly. You just wanted to hammer it like it was Iowa and Illinois overs every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no defense.
All right, that just about does it. Hold on, let me give a quick parlay that Matt put out, a soccer parlay for tomorrow as well. As I look that up real quick, he has did not look up the right one. Sorry, he has a soccer parlay at +174. I don't know where it went. That was a waste of time. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good. Tyler's
Did he
gonna
delete the tweet? I think he deleted the tweet. I don't know. I missed it. Anyways,
I think odds changed like drastically as soon as he did tweet it, so he's trying to find something to replace it. That is just what I'm assuming.
All right. Sounds good. Sorry about that. Tyler is saying Drake +5 against Chicago.
Oh, who are they playing?
They play Illinois Loyola Chicago or something like that.
I don't know why that school scares me.
It's because
I'll tell you why.
Run.
Because they beat the Vols in the Sweet 16 a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like that. I never want to like bet against that school ever. Like that just just never seems right to me.
Did you say they have the nun on their side, Martin?
Mm-hmm.
They have a very gracious nun on their side.
Very
I forgot her name.
Palace Better, we will share the winner of the Blues Yotes game. I think the Blues win. The Coyotes, if they win this game, it would be 4 straight against the Blues. I think the Blues gut this one out and win this game. Other than that, anything else that you guys would like to touch on real quick?
Nah, just best of luck to everybody.
Let's have a good fucking weekend. If we do well tomorrow, you could see us do this on Sunday morning, something like that. They give some Sunday bets. Other than that, hope you guys win. Hope you guys are tailing our bets, and we're gonna put out our card early in the morning. I know Matt's got to get some sleep, so when he wakes up, he'll be grinding. Till then,
he'll be correct.
See you guys.
Deuces.
Bring out the brooms.